Hello, and welcome to another BTFO. Today we're going to be talking about Abraham's Boys, the 2025 film, also known as Abraham Boy. Also known as Abraham's Boys, a Dracula story. So this one I'm going to keep real brief and to the point. Do not see this movie. Absolutely do not waste your time. It's only an hour and a half long, but my god, do you feel every second of it. I can sum up the story really quickly because basically, almost nothing happens in the movie. The movie is mostly comprised of just long shots where people just take forever to walk from one place to another, or they're just sitting there and nothing's happening. And so basically, this story is supposedly set 20 years after the story of Dracula. I guess technically 18 according to their title cards, but and we pick up with a now older Abraham Van Helsing, who has moved to California in America because for some reason London didn't work out for him, and then Amsterdam also didn't work out for him. And I guess pretty close to after the events of Dracula, he married Mina Harker, so she's now Mina Van Helsing, and they had 2 kids together. And the film does address that, yes, Jonathan Harker was her first husband. They don't address why he's not in the picture anymore. But supposedly he did kill a bunch of vampires, according to Abraham Van Helsing. So he takes responsibility, or he takes credit for Jonathan Harker's vampire kills. Which is, again, kind of one of those issues where it's if you're making a sequel to Dracula and you're having them hunt down vampires, it's that was kind of the whole purpose of why they hunted down Dracula, was to get rid of vampires. So I don't know if 20 years later they should be oh yeah, vampires they're just still a thing, they're still around. But so they're basically living on this farmhouse, and Mina starts to have basically flashbacks to the events of Dracula, the novel, which I don't know, I did find a little annoying because they're oh, Dracula bit her and infected her blood. I was that's not what happened in the book, though. She didn't get bit by Dracula. Dracula forced his, vein down her throat, and she, swallowed his blood. It's a lot more graphic, and considering this is a R-rated movie, you could have done that, and that would have been kind of neat to, actually have a faithful adaptation of the book. But why would we do that? Because basically the movie just continues, and a lot of it is just people living at their house or whatever. And then eventually, when by the time we hit the third act, they decide, hey, you know what would be a really cool continuation of the story from the Dracula novel is, well, what if we revealed that vampires aren't real and Abraham Van Helsing is just some crazy guy that just kills people and then goes, well, yeah, obviously they were a vampire. And I was what? No, guys, no, you can't do that with the, not as a direct sequel to the story of Dracula. Like, you'd have to change the story of Dracula. Uh, which, like, they don't want to do because they have Arthur Homeward in this, Lord Godalming himself. He's living in Sacramento, moving down to San Diego eventually, for some reason, which it's like, why? You're a lord, like, you are English royalty, like, okay. But, and, like, they have him question, Van Helsing to be like, hey, when I killed Lucy, like, you know, was that just murder or was she a vampire? Which it's like, no. So even if you don't think that she was a vampire, which it's like you had definitive proof of, like, she was definitely dead when you beheaded her. So it wasn't murder. Like, that shouldn't be a question, especially 20 years later. Which I will say, like, the actor for Van Helsing, I guess I can buy if it was a, like, much younger Van Helsing than, like, the guy in the book. But, like, as far as Mina and, Arthur Homeward go, their actors that they picked for them are, like, I believe they would be children 20 years ago, basically. Like, they're maybe early 40s, right? Like, I don't know, I get the impression that they'd be a little young to be playing the characters in the book. And also, it's like, it doesn't help that it looks like there's a 20-year age gap between Mina and Abraham. But yeah, and then basically Abraham, for whatever reason, decides, hey, that woman that lives down the street from us, you know, the only other character that we've got, because this is a really small budget movie, I'm gonna say she's a vampire. And so then his, like, children go, no, Dad, you're not gonna kill him, or you're not gonna kill her, and then they kill him. The end. And it's like, that's really fucking lame. Like, there's really no characters in this. Like, Abraham Van Helsing is the closest we actually get to a character. But even he, all of his lines are delivered like this. Children, I must kill the vampire. Oh, you must go to your room. And, like, it's all the same monotone delivery, and it's like, I mean, he's got a neat voice, I guess, but, like, you know, you might want to add a bit of inflection onto that. Yeah, I would not recommend this movie at all. It is atrocious. I feel kind of bad for the actors in it, because it's one of those movies where, considering that all of the acting performances are consistently bad in the same way, I think they all might be decent actors, but they were all directed very poorly. So I feel kind of bad for them for that. And, like, it is weird to me where, because, like, the girl that lives down the street, like, they try at some point to make a character thing with her of, like, oh, you're working on the railroad, are you? Like, that's tough work for a woman. And she's like, well, I mean, my brother works on the railroad. I just kind of, like, stay there. Like, I do cartography. It's like, oh, okay. But, like, every single scene she's in, there's a fucking ass shot of her, and it's like, oh, yeah, I wonder why this character's in the movie. Like, I wonder if the director had a different reason for hiring them. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this movie. It was really bad. I saw this is aside from the movie, I guess. but I saw this on a discount day because for some reason it came out on a Tuesday, or at least I think it did. It was the earliest that I saw it show up, but I saw it at a 9:45 showing. And I will say, normally I don't have a problem with, like, people and their theater etiquette, but this was one of the most annoying, like, showings that I've had of a movie, where, like, I sat in the back row, just about in the center, and then a few seats over from me was some guy and his kid that could not have been, like, older than 6. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, fucking put your kid to bed. Like, this is a rated R movie, too. Like, why? Like, what enjoyment do you think your 6-year-old child will get out of this? Like, go fucking home and put them to bed. Like, they shouldn't be here. Like, they're clearly not old enough to even focus on the movie, but, and then, like, off to, my left, at the very end of the row, there were, like, 2 women that, at least for, like, the first act of the movie, the first, like, 20 to 30 minutes, they were very loudly whispering to each other, which was really annoying. And then, to my far right, all the way down on the end, there was a couple that came in late, and they were very loudly making out, probably doing much more, but it was really annoying, and it wasn't until the, like, dad and his small child got up past them to, like, go to the bathroom or something that they stopped. So yeah, I don't know, I was really annoyed at the theater etiquette in this. Normally that's not a problem for me, but yeah, which, I mean, I guess I will say, at least it was for this, not, like, an actually good movie. But yeah, don't waste your time with Abraham's Boys. It's an awful movie, and you shouldn't watch it. So, bye-bye.